Congratulations, Mr. President.
America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before.
To the President of the United States, President Donald Trump.
A full day of pomp and circumstance in D.C., the nation's capital, and even the world honoring now President Donald Trump as he returns to the White House for the second time.
Trump taking action already this afternoon, issuing a flurry of executive actions just moments ago. He rolled back Democratic policies on immigration, energy, trade, and the federal workforce.
Thanks for being here at 4 o'clock on this inauguration and MLK Day. I'm Todd Unger.
And I'm Elizabeth Dinh. Thanks for being with us. President Donald Trump took the oath of office at 9:01 a.m. our time here, then wasted little time in getting to work with executive actions. Let's bring in Jeff Gianola here now with what is an important and historic day for the country.
Well, it all began with Trump swearing in and then the parade. They were all moved inside due to the intense cold in D.C. At his address this morning, the president detailed his priorities, including what he called a complete restoration of America. Trump will soon enact more of his some 200 executive actions, undoing many of former President Biden's policies, who departed the Capitol after a peaceful transfer of power. While Trump watched the inaugural parade indoors at the Capital One Arena, then signed the first of hundreds of executive actions, declaring an emergency at the southern border.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
He also talked about attacking inflation, declaring an energy emergency, and taking back the Panama Canal. And moments ago, the president mentioned Portland.
And look what happens in other parts of the country. In Portland, where they kill people, they destroy the city. Nothing happens to them. In Seattle, where they took over a big chunk of the city, nothing happened. Minneapolis, where they burned down the city, nothing happened. Essentially, nothing happened.
Well, Trump says perhaps his proudest legacy will be that of peacemaker and unifier. Following the festivities inside the arena, the president once again expected to return to the Oval Office, where he says he will sign more executive actions before attending, of course, all the balls that are held this evening. And the one thing to watch for later tonight when he returns to the Oval Office, he told the crowd he will sign an executive action pardoning many of the January 6th protesters. It'll be interesting to see how many he pardons, if he keeps some of the more violent protesters behind bars. And there's already a crowd gathering outside the Washington, D.C. jail in anticipation of that. So that's the next big thing to watch tonight. But a president signing those executive actions with someone announcing what they were in front of thousands of people inside the arena. And another important one, during that, just minutes ago, he pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Treaty. He signed that. That was something he promised, so he did that. So there's already a lot of pushback now from environmentalists and people who care about, the environment. So it'll be interesting. But the pardoning of the January 6th protesters is something to watch, something he promises he'll sign once he gets into the Oval Office just minutes from now.